We have one more segment to do on the cliff. We've had one on the fiscal cliff. We've had one on climbing or avoiding a marriage cliff. We know what we're talking about. Life is going along smoothly, and all of a sudden we fall off the cliff onto the rocks, whether it's a fiscal cliff, whether it's a marriage cliff, or whatever other problem that we might have. Today, let's talk about when you're down there, because inevitably, every one of us are going to fall off of a cliff. We're going to have a problem. We're going to fall flat. What do we do when that happens?
Hopefully it's not too far of a cliff to fall, but sometimes you do find yourself down and there's difficulties in life. We're faced with trials. And how do we handle those things once they occur? And I think that's the most important thing. What do we do when we're down there?
Yeah, first thing, basically, you got to get up. It's real simple. You may be laying flat down here, but you've got to get up. You know, there's a story from the Bible in the time of Joshua where Israel had suffered a devastating defeat. And Joshua was laying flat on his face before God. What do we do? What's happened? And essentially God says, get up. Get off your feet. Get back to the business of living. And that's what has to happen whenever we do fall down, whenever we have a problem. We've got to get up.
Yeah, and I think that leads us to the second point. Get to life. Get back to life.
Yeah,
start living.
We've got to start living.
Start living once again. In fact, it's amazing when Israel was coming into the promised land. That was one of the things that God said. He told Joshua to get up, get back at it. And in Israel, he said, choose life. That we've got to choose life. Don't stay down. Get up and choose to live, and choose to live it God's way.
And if you're breathing, then start living. One of my favorite quotes is, you either start living or you start dying. And we've got to continually be living. So get up, start living, start moving your way back up the steps of that cliff. And the third point in the idea and in the story is to start moving. Move forward. Climbing back up. There's a wonderful proverb, chapter 24 of Proverbs and verse 16. It says, for a righteous man may fall 7 times and rise again, but the wicked shall fail by calamity. And so get up, start living, and start moving. Act like a righteous person, act like a godly person, and realize that life can go on and we can eventually get ourselves back up on top of the cliff, back on stable ground, and start moving forward. Learn from mistakes, but keep moving forward. That's the key.
That's BT Daily. We'll see you next time.